This may be one of the most important games of the 2010s, even though it completely seppuku'd itself. Today we're talking about H1Z1. Why? Because I've been taking a trip down memory lane for older games, and when I got to H1Z1 I couldn't find it anywhere. Then I did some digging and discovered something surprising. The H1Z1 I remembered doesn't actually exist anymore. Turns out the game killed itself so badly that they dropped the survival side of the game and rebranded the Battle Royale mode into Z1 Battle Royale. It has a current player base of 30 players. So how did this game fall from an esports powerhouse to these meager numbers? To understand how H1Z1 got to where it is, we need some context. Back in 2015, H1Z1 released into early access on Steam as an open-world zombie survival game. It was heavily inspired by games like DayZ. Players would do the usual survival game things. You kill zombies, you build a base, you scavenge the map for loot. Like most initial launches, the game had server issues, but it still sold just over 1 million copies in the first few months. H1Z1 also came with a second game mode, a Battle Royale mode, made with the help of Brendan Green, who the internet knows as Player Unknown, who had made the OG Arma 3 Battle Royale mode and later on PUBG. This was originally launched as a side mode, but a majority of the player base spent more time in Battle Royale than in survival mode. So, in February 2016, Daybreak announced that the two games would be split into H1Z1 Just Survive and H1Z1 King of the Kill. Each game would have a dedicated dev team to continue development and improve upon it separately. This makes sense. Both modes have dedicated teams to improve them and keep new content coming in. Fan bases of both sides will be happy, as neither will be overshadowed by the other. I'm sure absolutely nothing could go wrong with this plan. So from 2016 to 2017, King of the Kill explodes in popularity, with a peak at over 150,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. At its peak, it was one of the most watched games on Twitch. Many streamers who would become huge names in Battle Royale started here. H1Z1 was a pioneer in the Battle Royale genre, with fast-paced gameplay, frequent airdrops, vehicle-heavy combat, large-scale tournaments worth up to $300,000, and an esports league for a short time. In several ways, H1Z1 proved that Battle Royale could be a standalone genre before PUBG and Fortnite dominated the market. Speaking of other Battle Royales, in early 2017, PUBG and Fortnite entered the market, each offering different experiences from H1Z1. Players flocked to these new titles, either for a more realistic VR experience with PUBG, or for accessibility and constant updates from Fortnite. The most painful part is that PUBG wasn't created by some random competitor. It was created by Brendan Green, the same Player Unknown who helped create H1Z1's Battle Royale mode. One of H1Z1's biggest innovations had effectively become its biggest rival. King of the Kill was being squeezed on 3 fronts. 2 of them were these new Battle Royale competitors. The third was themselves. While trying to stay relevant, they were constantly changing and tweaking gunplay, changing and adding new features to stay up with Fortnite and PUBG. Players were becoming frustrated with the constant changes, missing the gunplay that they had become accustomed to. The devs also released the game on PlayStation to boost player numbers, and when that didn't work, their last-ditch effort was to rebrand the game in 2018 as Z1 Battle Royale. Today it struggles to reach a few dozen players. Now what about survival mode? It had a dedicated dev team, maybe it did better. For the original H1Z1 players, this was the game. They weren't logging in for a battle royale. They were building compounds in the woods, fighting over supplies, raiding bases, and surviving zombie-infested towns. When the split happened, many assumed Just Survive would finally get the attention it deserved. Instead, the opposite happened. While King of the Kill became Daybreak's golden goose, Just Survive felt increasingly abandoned. Updates slowed down, features took longer to arrive. Players watched as the game they originally paid for slowly slipped into maintenance mode. In August of 2018, Daybreak announced that Just Survive would shut down permanently because it was no longer sustainable to maintain, and in October, servers closed. H1Z1 failed for many reasons. Players originally bought the game for a zombie survival experience that had been abandoned entirely. Games like PUBG and Fortnite delivered a deeper BR experience despite their shortfalls. H1Z1 is one of the most important games of the 2010s. Without H1Z1, PUBG may not have exploded as quickly as it did. Epic Games may not have entered a less proven market with Fortnite, and modern Battle Royale gaming as a whole may look very different. H1Z1 died so PUBG and Fortnite could thrive. It didn't win the Battle Royale war. It didn't even survive it. But it proved millions of players wanted Battle Royale in the first place. And for that reason, H1Z1 remains one of the most influential games of the 2010s.